Let's look at a quadratic equation and try to find all the vertex, the opening, the axis of symmetry, and so forth. The general equation of a parabola is ax squared plus bx plus c, going back to the quadratic formula as well. Now, the function I have is 2x squared plus 8x plus 3. And the first question I have is to find the vertex. And for the vertex, we're using the vertex formula, minus b over 2a. This minus b over 2a is to find the x value of my vertex. The vertex is an ordered pair. And the way I have this covered up because I've already done this over here in the corner. So a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 8. So if I plug in minus b over 2a, I get negative 8 over 2 times 2, which is equal to negative 8 over 4, which is equal to negative 2. Okay, so the vertex again is an ordered pair, and we need to find an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. The x-coordinate of this vertex is negative 2. So now how do we find the y value of the vertex? We're using this negative 2 and we're plugging it into our original equation. So every time you see an x, you replace this with negative 2. So we're looking for f of negative 2 equals 2 times negative 2 plus 8 times negative 2 plus 3. Okay, which gives me 2 times 4 minus 816 plus 3, so which is equal to 8 minus 16 plus 3. 8 minus 16 is negative 8 plus 3 is equal to negative 5. So my vertex has the ordered pair of negative 2, negative 5. Oops, too many errors right here. Okay, now I can ask you a couple questions. And while I'm asking these questions, I also want to draw it. Let me write this down here again so we can see everything on one. The vertex is negative 2, negative 5. Okay, so a little sketch here. Doesn't have to be elaborate. X here is y. Negative 2, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, right down here. So this is my vertex, negative 2, negative 5. Okay, now, in order to graph this a little more, I need to know what the opening is. And since my leading coefficient is positive, the opening is upward. Okay, so it looks like it's going just like that. And on the other side, upward. Now, what is the y-intercept? I'm going to use the y-intercept to actually graph this a little bit better. Now again, if I go to my original equation, to find the y-intercept, I'm setting x equal to 0. Basically what happens, you cover it up, and all you have left is 3. 2 times 0 squared is 0, plus 8 times 0 is 0, plus 3. So my x-intercept, my y-intercept is 0, 3. 1, 2, 3, so it has to go through this point, so now I can graph it a little more accurate. It looks sort of going through this point like that. Okay? Okay, a couple more questions. What is the axis of symmetry? The axis of symmetry is that point where the graph or the parabola is basically folded in half. And if I draw a vertical line through this point, this is my axis of symmetry, I get x equals negative 2. The axis of symmetry is always the x value of your vertex. We know the opening is up. Do we have a maximum or do we have a minimum? And since this is a low point here, we have a minimum. The value of this minimum is always the y value of your vertex, so -5. Okay, here we go. Here comes my favorite question. Where is this function increasing? Increasing, so if we trace this graph with our pencil, we see that we're going down, that means decreasing. But then here at that point, which is the vertex, we keep going up. We have increasing, which is from -2 to infinity, always the x value. Decreasing from -infinity to -2. Okay, let's look over here. The domain of any parabola is -infinity to infinity. What is the range? Let me move my computer a little bit so I can move here. The range is your y value. So the lowest y value we have here is -5. -5 is included going to positive infinity. What else could I be asking you? That's about it. We've graphed it. We have the opening. We have the y-intercept. Let's look at the end behavior. The end behavior, you see those two arrows that I drew, means it's going up. Okay, here's my end behavior. Okay, and that is all I want to ask you. Okay, here we go. Questions about a parabola. Finding the vertex using the formula -b/2a. Find y by plugging it back in, then answer all these questions, which are right here. And draw a little sketch.